like a moment, Trina and I, and with conversation, to put our sons and the prayers in two different, in how we pray. I felt like the love there because, our sons were there in spirit.
Trina Soucy is hoping the violence stops, so no more members have to suffer.
There's just no more time to waste. We got to help our people. We got to pray for our people now.
Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.
Ottawa police report they have found the remains of a Nunavut woman who was reported missing 5 years ago. Our Kent Driscoll joins us from Iqaluit. Kent, what did Ottawa police discover?
Thanks. Ottawa police say they have found the remains of Mary Papatsi. Papatsi was an Inuk woman from Pengertung, Nunavut, the youngest of 8 children, a mother of 10, and a grandmother to 1. She moved to Ottawa in 2002 and was reported missing by her family in 2017. She was 39 years old when she went missing. Now, back in 2017, Ottawa's Major Crimes Unit took over the investigation into Papatsi's disappearance. At the time, they said they believed the disappearance to be suspicious. Construction workers at a Vanier building renovation told police on Saturday that they had discovered something in the backyard at the site. And on Sunday, the Ottawa police confirmed it was Papatsi's remains. The building has been vacant for more than a year for renovations. The family held a memorial for her back in 2019. And at that time, the lack of closure with not finding Papatsi's remains, they said it made healing more difficult. We reached out to the family to see if this latest discovery is something they want to talk about. We didn't hear back immediately. According to Paututik, Inuit Women of Canada, Inuit women experience violence at a rate 14 times the national average. We'll keep you up to date on this investigation as it unfolds. Back to you in Winnipeg.
All right, it's time for a short break, but still to come, there was a historic ruling in a Montreal Superior Court. We'll have details when we come back. Welcome back. It was a historic ruling at Montreal Superior Court. A judge ordered a temporary stop to the work on a renovation project on McGill University grounds after a Ganawage group calling themselves the Mohawk Mothers took McGill and the City of Montreal to court because, as Amelia Fournier explains, undiscovered bodies may be present.
The site of the new Vic project is on the grounds of the former Royal Victoria Hospital, where dangerous psychological experiments were conducted as part of the CIA's MK-Ultra plan. For the past year, the Mohawk Mothers, Organistan Sera, have been sounding the alarm that bodies may be buried on this site. Sogahantaneda and Kwetdio spent the last 2 days presenting their evidence in court to get an injunction to stop the project.
I feel like I just had a new baby. I do, because I feel like we're closer to having our future generations heard, our past generations heard, and whatever has happened to our children, that they have purpose.
They didn't get the injunction to halt the construction of McGill's new Vic project yet. Justice Gregory Moore granted a temporary injunction to halt the excavation at the site for a few months. This would allow time to see if both parties could come to an agreement and have more Kanien'kehá:ka voices heard, as the site is on unceded Mohawk land.
You've never seen a case like this because there hasn't been one. And quite frankly, the fact that Indigenous people can get justice in a courtroom is, it just goes to prove that we are not completely shut out, but it does take extraordinary measures.
2 weeks prior to the injunction hearing, Archaeos, the archaeological firm employed by McGill, began excavating the land as part of an archaeological survey. Archaeos said that the likelihood of unmarked graves was very low. However, Garun Yanarun, a Mohawk archaeology student from Ganasatake, said that the project failed to properly include Indigenous consent.
A big issue for me is that the Organistan Sera at least have said that what they prefer is non-invasive methods, and they've said that several times, that they would prefer like ground penetrating radar, LiDAR, or aerial surveillance to be used as opposed to starting to dig.
These digs sparked resistance from some McGill students.
As soon as they had removed the asphalt, they blacked it out. It's like they had something to hide.
Val Masney of McGill's student executive felt the university was rushing the process.
If there's even a 1% chance that there are unmarked graves, we need to do things properly. Whether it's to me, it isn't a question of probability. It's just a question of doing things the right way.
McGill students rallied outside the Montreal courthouse in solidarity with the Mohawk Mothers on October 26th, and many were present in the courtroom. But not everyone in Ganawage feels represented by the Mohawk Mothers. APTN spoke to Deborah DeLille, a Mohawk mother of the Turtle Clan, prior to the judge's ruling. She's also an elder in residence for McGill's social work program.
Everybody has a right to express whatever, and however. Is it an injunction? Not really, because they haven't spoken to me. They haven't presented their issue to the community. Can we invite the community to a gathering so we could express our concerns about it?
DeLille said she would be willing to work with the Mohawk Mothers if they are open to discussion. In a phone interview with APTN, Chief Ross Montour of the Mohawk Council of Ganawage, or MCK, said that because the new Vic project falls out of MCK's jurisdiction, the council does not have the power to approve or halt the project. Montour said MCK has been consulted throughout the planning process. McGill did not respond to APTN's request for comment, and Archaeos was not available for an interview before deadline.
The case will be revisited in court towards the end of January or early February at a case management hearing to see how both parties are doing with the discussions. At that time, if needed, a date will be set for the Mohawk Mothers injunction hearing. Amelia Fournier, APTN National News, Montreal.
All right, it's time for one final break, but first, in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, a Mi'kmaq family continues to search for answers after their loved one died while in care at the Cape Breton Regional Hospital. Angel Moore gives us a preview.
I'm here at the Eskazoni First Nation Unamagi. Community member Bridget Ann Denny died January 2021 while in care at the Cape Breton Regional Hospital. An investigation by Nova Scotia Health found inadequate care. The Denny family wants an independent inquiry by the medical examiner. More of the story to come.
Welcome back. It's time now for our photo of the day. It's a spooky time, and APTN's own Holly Moore submitted this creatively carved pumpkin, courtesy of her son Beck. It will be sure to get some attention this Halloween night. If you have some creepy crawlers, scary costumes, or decorations from the netherworld to share, send those photos by email to share@aptn.ca, and we will try and get them on the show all week. Oh, and if you're going out trick-or-treating tonight, remember to be safe out there. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting over on the East Coast, 8 degrees and showers in St. John's and 16 in Halifax, 6 in Happy Valley Goose Bay and 3 in Cartwright, 12 degrees in Quebec City and 14 in Val-d'Or, 19 and some showers in Sarnia and 14 in Sault Ste. Marie, 11 degrees in Sioux Lookout and 4 degrees in Big Trout Lake, 3 in Churchill and -4 in Clear in Thompson, 8 degrees in Barons River and 13 in Winnipeg, 11 degrees in Regina and 4 in North Battleford, 2 degrees in La Ronge and -6 in Stony Rapids. Moving west to -3 in Fort Chipewyan and -1 in Peace River, 3 in a mix of sun and cloud in Edmonton and 8 degrees in Calgary, 8 degrees in Campbell River and 4 in Bella Coola, 7 in Sandspit and -4 in Dease Lake, -12 in Beaver Creek and -20 in Rock River, -15 in Norman Wells and -5 in Fort Liard. clear and -13 in Colville Lake, and -12 in Nunavut, -22 in Cambridge Bay, and clear and -22 in Chesterfield, -21 in Arctic Bay, and -1 in Iqaluit. A First Nations artist from the Yukon is one of 5 finalists for this year's prestigious Sobey Art Award. Crystal Silverfox is already guaranteed $25,000 for making it this far, and if she wins, she will get $100,000. APTN's Fraser Needham has more.
Earlier this week, Silverfox could barely hide her enthusiasm. She'd been selected for the Sobey short list.
Oh, it's surreal. I can't believe that I made it this far. I am so thrilled. I grew up in Vancouver. I live in the Yukon, so I could not be more thrilled to represent the West Coast Yukon, and it's just so touching to be here.
Silverfox's work tends to focus on the theme of decolonization, often using materials such as copper and Hudson Bay blankets. 3 of her most recent works, All That Glitters Is Not Gold, Copper and Concrete, and Landmarks, are currently on display at the National Gallery of Canada in Ottawa. And as Gallery Associate Curator Wes Santillo Cross points out, the interdisciplinary artist's work is gaining notice.
To take something that is valuable in that way and then to turn it into something that is a commodity, with the pennies as well, and they have the stamp of the Queen's head, so it's so rich when you really look into the materials that are used.
Silverfox explains the importance of copper in her work.
So we would actually use copper to trade with the Tlingit people, and they would actually create copper shields, knives, all sorts of different tools. We also made copper knives and such, but it's not as, I guess, documented as the Tlingit people.
And the Hudson Bay blanket.
The Hudson's Bay blanket also has this unfortunate history of spreading disease. So I'm thinking a lot about the Hudson's Bay blanket as a colonial tool that I rip apart as an act of decolonization. But also I'm thinking about the act as reflecting back to my identity as a Northern Tatroni woman.
And her advice for young and aspiring Indigenous artists?
I say use anything and everything to make your art. If it's garbage, so be it. Our objects around us say so much about our worlds and our experiences, and don't give up on it.
The Sobey Art Award winner will be announced on November 16th. Fraser Needham, APTN National News, Ottawa.
All right, that's all we have for you tonight on APTN National News. For news anytime, you can visit our website, as always, aptnnews.ca. I'm Daryl Stranger. For all of us here, thank you for joining us. Miigwech, and have a great night.